My topic today is all about challenges and opportunities of community linkages. Ano-ano nga ba ang bumubuo sa community? Hindi lamang mga taong naninirahan sa komunidad ang bumubuo rito, kundi nariyan ang mga kabahayan, simbahan, barangay hall, barangay health center, fire station, bangko, nariyan din ang City Hall at ang iba't ibang business establishment. Ang lahat ng mga ito ay ating mga kabahagi sa pagbuo ng community linkages. Sila ang partner o stakeholders na magiging katuwang natin sa paaralan. Co-teachers, do you still remember Efren Peña Florida? Siya ang ginawaran ng CNN Hero noong 2009. Kinilala ang kanyang inisyatibo na Kariton sa Classroom, kung saan ang kanyang tinutulungan ay ang mga batang di nakapag-aral dahil sa kahirapan ng buhay. Ito ang mga bata sa lansangan at mga out-of-school youth. Panoorin po natin ito. Community linkages. Do you have a heart to offer a helping hand? To serve the community? To make a change? Then be the start of change. Involve yourself. Be a volunteer. Start within yourself. You are the change that you dream, as I am the change that I dream, and collectively we are the change that this world needs to be. By Efren Peña Florida. Change will not come if we wait for some other people or some other time. We are ones we're waiting for. We are the change that we seek. By Barack Obama. Leave a legacy. Inspire others. And be a teacher. Teaching is not only contained within the four corners of the classroom, like Efren Peña Florida did. Being a teacher also means applying what you teach to your students in real-life situations. NSTP, LTS program, ito yung mga estudyante na tumutulong sa community. And ang Brigada Eskwela po ay mga parents. And ang Brigada Eskwela po ay mga parents and stakeholders na tumutulong din po sa paaralan. Community development. Outreach and feeding programs. Be the next hero. Make a difference. Be involved in your community. Be a teacher. Teamwork. Ito ang susi sa pakikipag-ugnayan natin sa komunidad. Kailangan natin ang teamwork upang mapagtagumpayan ang mga proyekto na ating isusulong. Ngunit, hindi madali ang bumuo ng isang matatag na ugnayan sa mga ito. Ano-ano nga ba ang mga challenges na maaari nating kaharapin? In many contexts, participation of communities in the operation of school has helped increase access, retention, and attendance rates of children to school. Education is a social activity in which, in addition to the school, society plays the role of facilitator and partner. Successful schools understand the importance of establishing good and harmonious relations with the community in which they lie. These relationships exist at two levels, at a formal and legal level, as well as an informal and voluntary one. The former is expressed by the representation of the community through formal organizations such as School Management Committee, SMC, Barangay Education Committee o VEC, School Development Committee or SDC, and or Parent and Teachers Associations o PTA. The latter takes the form of voluntary participation where community members get involved through special activities or events. In order to enhance the community's participation in education, it is essential to promote a school environment where community members feel welcomed, respected, trusted, heard, and needed. These are the key challenges to community linkages. First, cultural differences between the academy and the community. Second, power dynamics. Third, lack of incentives for those involved. Fourth, operational factors, example, lack of time and money. Fifth, time commitment. Sixth, ensuring positive community impact. And the last, ensuring student learning. We'll discuss first cultural differences. Neither the school nor the community are monolithic cultural entities. There are subcultures within both. There are different disciplinary cultures in the school and significant differences between the organizational cultures of private sector businesses, government departments, public schools, and non-profit organizations. Nevertheless, there are identifiable differences between school and community cultures that can interfere with attempts to collaborate. Ibig sabihin po, iba-iba ang mga paniniwala at kultura natin. That's why this is one of the challenge to gain the trust to encourage them to join or support us to our advocacies. When we work within a homogeneous culture, we interact with people who tend to share the same norms, expectations, values, and belief. Everyone is implicitly playing by the same rules. What can happen in community school relationships is that people inadvertently break the rules of the other culture. This can lead to a breakdown in the relationship. Teachers who give lectures are conditioned by this approach to teaching to talk for long blocks of time. They usually expect not to be interrupted. Given their purpose, their primary concern is whether they have been understood, not whether they understand the views or concerns of the other people in the room. Teachers who go into community settings and behave in ways to work in the classroom, example, taking up most of the airtime, risk reinforcing stereotypes about academics being arrogant and self-centered. If faculty fail to recognize that they are entering into a different cultural space and need to adjust their behavior, they will alienate potential community collaborators. Second is dynamics. The literature on school community linkages asserts that partnerships in this area can be challenging because schools hold more power than communities. The field is trying to give more voice to community partners and identify ways to equalize power. Example, by ensuring that some financial resources are controlled by community partners. But there are some in academy who think the school having more power is just the natural order of things and is no cause for concern. In addition, there are community partners who do not see themselves as having less power than the school. But there are those who believe that real or perceived power differentials can impair school-community relationships. In the course of recent conversations with community partners, I was struck by the way they talk about academia as if they knew the environment very well. I realized that most of the community professionals who get involved in community school partnerships have been educated in universities or colleges. As students, they had experiences that would have conditioned their attitudes and belief about academia. These included experiences of being judged, example, marked by teachers, possibly being criticized by teachers, and maybe even feeling intimidated by teachers. As students, their status was beneath that of teachers. I began to wonder whether, when community professionals find themselves working with teachers, they perhaps unconsciously defer to teachers, worry about whether they are performing adequately, and make assumptions about who is in charge. Third, lack of incentives. The need for changes to policies and protocols around promotion and tenure appears on pretty much everybody's list of barriers to community engagement. But it needs to be pointed out that there is just as much need to consider what the incentives are for community organizations to engage with academia and what the incentives are for students to do an outstanding job when they get involved in this work. Too many people in academia assume there are legions of people out there waiting for the ivory tower to lower the drawbridge over the moat. Many academics are unaware of the level of skepticism, even hostility that exists in some community contexts, especially those who have a history of being exploited by academics. Example, Aboriginal communities and poor, marginalized communities. Para po ma-recognize ang participation po nila, pwede po tayong magbigay ng Certificate of Appreciation or a Token of Appreciation. Fourth, operational factors. Operational barriers include pressures related to other demands on people's time, mismatches between the annual rhythms in academia and other sectors, lack of funding, and geographical distances between campuses and community settings. My experience is that if the above factors are addressed, example, if there is a commitment to address cultural differences and unhealthy power dynamics, and if people are sufficiently motivated, then operational obstacles can be overcome. But that can be a big if. One of the rarely mentioned challenges of sustaining school community collaborations is that this work inevitably requires participants to learn through experience. Unfortunately, the assumption in the discourse seems to be that being an expert in a discipline is enough to qualify people to collaborate effectively with community partners. But community linkages requires sensitivities and skills that are not highly valued in some academic contexts. Example, collaborative decision making and straight talking skills. As implied above, there is a need for both school and community partners to unlearn certain habits and attitudes as well as learn new skills. My goal here is to make the point that sustaining collaborative relationships requires an explicit commitment to learning by everyone involved. The fact that such learning will sometimes be messy and entail discomfort also needs to be not just acknowledged but embraced. If time commitment of the many concerns that educators express about community engaged teaching and research, possibly the most frequent is that it takes a lot of precious time. Indeed, it takes significant amounts of time to develop a productive working relationship with a community partner, to design projects that meet both learning and community goals, to manage the logistics of the projects as they unfold, to engage students in special skills training, and to reflect on the meaningfulness of projects with students. Kailangan itong paglaanan ng oras dahil hindi naman po biro ang makipag-ugnayan sa mga community members or stakeholders. Minsan po kasi hindi nadadaan sa isang usap lang, kaya kailangan ng follow-up. Kaya sipag at tiyaga ang susi para sa matibay na ugnayan sa komunidad. Ensuring positive community impact. What if your community-based project with students turns out to be of limited impact in the community? For many educators, this is a significant concern since we would like to have our community partnerships be mutually beneficial and because we want our students to feel effective in their work. And the last, ensuring student learning. Another common worry is that students will not be prepared well enough to complete a community-based project successfully and that this will limit the learning experience as well as fail in helping their community partner. While failure can happen in any teaching setting, the obligations educators and students may feel to community partners can make that prospect more worrisome. It is therefore important to ensure students have all the preparation necessary to succeed in their projects and to benefit from the learning experience that community engagement provides. Those are the challenges of community linkages. There are also benefits that we can gain from community linkages. Number 1, increase the likelihood that projects or solutions will be widely accepted. Citizens who participate in these processes show significant commitment to help make the projects happen. Community linkages ensures that community members have access to valued social settings and activities, feel that they are able to contribute meaningfully to those activities and develop functional capabilities that enable them to participate fully. Katulad po nito ay ang taunang Brigada Eskwela na kung saan may mga stakeholders na nagdo-donate ng materials and other supplies na kailangan ng ating school. And there are those who participates in repair and cleaning activities. Sila mismo ang nagpipintura at nagkukumpuni ng mga sirang facilities o kagamitan sa paaralan. With that, mas nararamdaman nila na bahagi sila ng isang makabuluhang proyekto, hindi lang para sa paaralan, kundi lalo na para sa mga mag-aaral. Number 2, create more effective solutions. Drawing on local knowledge from a diverse group creates solutions that are practical and effective. Community linkages enables better understanding of communities' needs and aspirations. Sa pakikipag-ugnayan natin sa komunidad, mas naiintindihan at nalalaman din natin ang mga pangangailangan at adhikain nila. With that, it's easier to communicate and reach out to them, to draw opinions from different community members and to come up with a much effective solutions. Number 3, improve citizens' knowledge and skills in problem solving. Participants learn about the issues in depth. Greater knowledge allows them to see multiple sides of the problem. Citizens can practice communication and decision-making skills. With constant communication with community members, we encourage them to participate in problem solving and decision making. They become at ease to share their ideas regarding issues and other concerns. And the last, empower and integrate people from different backgrounds. Groups that feel ignored can gain greater control over their lives and their community. When people from different areas of the community work together, they often find that they have much in common. With community linkages, those who feel that they have been neglected because of their status and culture ay nagkakaroon din po ng confidence that they are part of the community kasi nga po nabibigyan sila ng pagkakataon na makisalamuha sa iba't ibang miyembro ng komunidad. They will realize that they too are important part of the community. Fifth, create local networks of community members. The more people who know what is going on and who are willing to work toward a goal, the more likely a community is to be successful in reaching its goals. Mas maraming tao tayong mahikayat, mas marami tayong magagawa. Ang need ng school po ay hindi lang sa financial, but rather, we also need people who can share their skills, their ideas, and passion to support our endeavors. Sixth, create several opportunities for discussing concerns. Regular, ongoing discussions allow people to express concerns before problems become too big or out of control. Example po nito ay sa part ng PTA. May mga regular meetings po sila para pag-usapan ang mga concerns sa loob ng paaralan. Kung may problema man, ay masusolusyonan po kaagad. Nandiyan ang mga platforms na ginagamit natin like text, messenger, and group chat. It is important po to maintain an open communication. And the last, increase trust in community organizations and governance. Working together improves communication and understanding. Knowing what government, community, citizens, and leaders and organizations can and cannot do may reduce future conflict. Kapag lagi tayong nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga community members nito, ay mas lalong bukas at matatag ang samahan. And with this, we gain their trust and support. So, mas madali nating ilapit yung mga susunod na proyekto sa kanila. Before I end this presentation, I would like to leave you with a quotation from Henry Ford. I quote, "Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success." Mabuhay at magandang umaga po muli sa inyong lahat.